Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Thank you very much for tuning in, spending a couple of minutes of your evening with us. All I ask is if you could be so kind, takes 1 second out of your time. If you like the content, if you like the whole day-to-day technical analysis movement, all I ask is click a like on the button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hopefully, again, I can continue to provide additional value. So let's talk about it. First 3 days of 2025 have not been boring, right? Have not been boring all over the place, right? The theme to be going into every single day is just to be prepared. That's it. We were prepared for the 50-day breakdown of the NASDAQ 100. We knew the ramifications of what would happen if they closed below. We knew what happened or was supposed to happen when they reclaimed back the 50-day moving average. And here we are, right? Here we are. NASDAQ today up another 1.2%. It was up a lot more. The Dow was up like 300 points and went red on the day. But again, does anybody really care about the Dow, right? This is in 1943. Who cares, right? Who cares? Market continues to be super duper aggressive. You got Bitcoin, held that bottom range several times last week around that 90.91, which is a very, very key level going in the future. Currently trading just a tad under 102,000. So that obviously was the springboard for, all the, usual suspects, the MSTRs, the Coinbases of the world, the Maros of the world, but especially those two names. And the question is now, is the market back, right? Is the market back? Or is this something just like, one of those situations that we're getting a little bit of warning signs, or we're going to retest the lows from 3 days ago? Again, the question is out there, and the answer is who cares, right? Who cares? Stop predicting, okay? I'm running into so many people on social media. They've been trading 2-3 minutes, and they just want to predict. I predict Tesla's going to be at there. I predict Nvidia is going to be at Y. Stop predicting, okay? Take it day by day, especially if you're an intraday trader. If you're an investor, pick a company, invest in it, forget about it for 5 years. You don't need to be on message boards, on Reddit, on StockTwits, on Twitter, fighting with people about it. You like Apple, buy Apple. You like Amazon, be in Amazon. You want to be in Tesla, be in Tesla. If you're an intraday trader, stop guessing, right? Again, the whole point of trading is to be on the side of data, to be on the side of a confirmation from technical analysis. Because again, if you can't see the picture, if you can't see the clear picture, you're guessing. That's all you're doing. You are a product of, I hope, please God, let it work. Instead of, I know what I want, I know what I need, here's the confirmation, I'm going to wait for it, and hopefully everything plays out because my synopsis should be technically right. Not my guess, but my synopsis based on the data, not because I want something to happen. And that's kind of where we are right now, right? We're in a very, very crazy, aggressive tape. We went from, breakdown potential only last Thursday with a tremendous kick save from the market. And now we are back above, 3 major supply zones. We're back above the 50-day. We're back above the 10-day moving average that we talked about. And now this is the first close. Where are we here? This is now the first close above the 20-day SMA. So it's bullish, right? It's absolutely bullish. Again, does it stay that way? Does it have to stay that way? No, that's why there's levels. As long as a stock or an ETF, whatever the case may be, asset class is above a level, you're good, right? You're good. You're playing off that level. Once it loses that level, the whole narrative continues to change. And this is kind of where we are right now. If you look at last night's or the weekend video, we discussed X amount of names, right? Again, I usually don't like the freestyle, right? I don't like the freestyle companies out of the blue. If I can't find it on my research the night before, there's a higher probability chance than not that I'm not going to probably trade it, right? So everything we talked about on the weekend video was pretty much what we traded today. Pretty much where the pivots were engaged. First and foremost, massive run on Nvidia. We came in long. We bought it back. We bought it back on Friday on the close after this awesome 141 reclaim of the 50-day moving average. I sold my last piece into that 49.30s level. Problem is, it went to 52. Again, you can't be perfect. And the point is, it never came in. At least it never came in the first couple of hours where I really wanted that bounce. I was couldn't get back into it. Reddit, we talked about it over the weekend update. 182.20 needs to confirm. Went to 187. OKLO, I thought for some reason it was a retailer. God knows what the hell it is, and that's my point. Who cares what it is, right? If you're trading intraday symbols, if this thing does, I don't care if this thing is a retailer, energy company. They make waffles. I don't care, right? The point is, a pivot is a pivot is a pivot. OKLO 2812. Needs to confirm. Here is OKLO. Huge move. Absolutely huge move. Took out 2812. Ran to almost 32. Massive move. Meta, right? Meta 609.50 needs to build. Okay. There were buyers coming in the middle of the morning on Meta, just to give you an idea. So here's the whole 609.50 level. There were buyers coming in, and there was one specific buyer who came in for the 630s for next week. Why is that important? Well, the stock exploded, right? It closed at 630. Massive move on Meta. And here was the news. And this is kind of the point of somebody always knows something. Nobody's afraid of jail. Those old movies of Wall Street, SEC, you're going to get locked up for insider trading. They announced after the close, Dana White, the president of the UFC, is going to join the board on Meta. Why is that big news? I don't know. Who the hell knows? But the point is, it's news, right? Meta is up another $5 after the close, and now Meta is on watch for the December highs going into tomorrow. So I don't care what the news is. All we know, there's another big level coming up. There is, I guess, some sort of catalyst. The options market knew because they were betting in that direction, especially that one buyer who came in for the 630s for next week's expiration. So they know. That's the whole point. They know. RKLB, again, we talked about this on the weekend video. 2880 rejected 3 times. Needs to confirm. Here was RKLB. It took out the 2880, traded all the way up to 30 and change before a little bit of a reversal. So that was pretty good as well. And here it is, right? Here it is, target hit, Nvidia, blah, 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 blah. Everything was all good, right? So that's good. Tesla never got up to, obviously, the 418.60 level. But speaking of Tesla, right? Speaking of Tesla going into tomorrow's session. So let's kind of rewind, right? So Tesla had its data come out, right? Data come out a couple of days ago. The stock got absolutely slammed, right? When it lost that 415 pivot, went all the way down. I'm talking about all the way down to this 373 level. Had a big reversal on Friday. Gapped up today, another $12 or so on a pretty aggressive upgrade. Then the stock went red on the day, came all the way into the 5-day moving average, right? Tested the 5-day, broke the 5-day, reclaimed the 5-day, and rallied all the way back. Here's the problem, right? Tesla right now is a little bit of a no man's land. If you're a bull, right, and I would like to honestly see Tesla get above this channel. Remember we talked about Tesla on the weekend update? It's going to need to do a little bit of work. You see these 3 candles here? One right here, the 1230 highs, the January, the 1230 highs, the 1231 highs, and today's highs. It's the same area, right? It's been rejected off this 10-day supply 3 times in a row. Right now, unfortunately, Tesla is still $14 away from the top of the range, and it's now $10 away from the bottom of the range. So Tesla's going to need a few days to kind of figure itself out, right? Figure itself out, what it wants to do. But I will say this much. If we can get a break, whether it's this week, next week, whatever the case may be. So I really don't have a lot of value in Tesla going into tomorrow unless it just goes berserk or implodes one way or another. So we have the 10-day reclaim big area on the upside, and then we have the confirmation to the downside if it loses the 5 days. So there is a trade. There is a two-sided trade for us. I just don't think it's going to be imminent for the next day or so. But again, I hope I'm wrong. I might be wrong here. Here's where things get interested. So I have no position. This is the first time in 3 days I have no position on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA reclaimed the 50-day moving average. It got above the recent highs. It went crazy. And again, the big run-up was for the CES event, okay? So I got whatever I needed to get out of this thing. Again, nearly 9 points on 3 days on NVIDIA. For me, that's huge, okay? For me, that's big. That's like the equivalent of getting, 20, 25 out of Tesla, right? So here's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Doesn't mean it's for what you're thinking. It was, for anybody else to think. This is kind of for what I'm thinking, right? So I don't have a position in this thing overnight. Millions of dollars being bet for the 160s, the 165s, the 170s, the 180s, millions of dollars. Everybody is super duper bullish on NVIDIA. Here's my problem. I have a two-sided problem with this. Number one, the stock in the last 3 days has gone from 133 to 152. So you're talking about a 19-point move in 3 days. Okay, that's a little bit big. That's called, entering the trade off the tall floor, right? Everybody kind of knows what I mean by that. Second thing is when I see everybody on social media talking about this is the easiest trade, this is the easy trade, this is the easy trade, this is a slam dunk trade, I'm like, nah, son. I'm not getting into bed with everybody on retail that's thinking the same way, trading the same stock, the same direction at the same time. It's just not going to happen. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If you're long this thing, I hope this thing goes out of its mind tomorrow, goes up 10. I don't want to be in a scenario because the CEO is speaking at 9:30 Eastern time. I don't want to be in a scenario that it's one of those things that, we sold the news. I don't want to be involved with that considering he's speaking after the ECN's already closed. What's my worst case scenario tomorrow? I missed the move. Okay. I already caught, think about it, guys. We already caught the appetizers off the 50-day moving average. Okay. The appetizers, the main course, and the dessert. What am I missing? The crumbs? I could always get back on this thing at any point tomorrow. Okay. Matter of fact, if they really like what he has to say, there's always the November highs, right? I can always buy it back tomorrow on the 11 highs. If they gap it up 5-6 points, you know what? It wasn't meant to be, and I'm okay, right? I always believe in the theory, I'd rather be a day early than a day late. I'd rather always sell stock when I want to, not when I have to. And here's my biggest thing here. Remember, when you're playing chess, who dies first, right? It's not the queen, it's not the king, it's the pawns. And when retail's always going on the quote unquote obvious trade, I wash my hands with it. I want anything to do with it. So tomorrow I will be watching NVIDIA. If there is any type of profit taking, because again, at the end of the day, there could be a scenario, sell the news. I don't know, right? I'm not predicting anything. I have no idea. Okay. If I knew, I would be in, position in that direction. I don't know. But if there is some sort of sell the news type of scenario, I will be a buyer into rising daily support. Okay, I'm not a fool. The stock is still above the 50-day moving average. If there is strength, I will definitely be watching the November highs as well. But the one thing I didn't want to do, at least for myself, again, I'm speaking strictly for myself, the one thing that I did not want to do is put myself in a position that I am long day 4 above the 50-day moving average going into an event. And by the way, I can't do anything about it because the ECNs are closed. So just for me, again, safety is first, and there's no trade that's bigger than your ability to protect your capital, especially after a massive 3-day move. And the most important thing is, again, you never sensationalize any individual stock. There'll always be an opportunity somewhere else. There'll always still be opportunity in that symbol tomorrow. But the most important thing is when you don't have a safety net, and this is, again, the most important part is I try to trade with a safety net every single day. When I don't have a safety net, I kind of remove myself from the equation because it's not the money you make, it's the money you save that's going to provide value for your account. So let's talk about some symbols for tomorrow that I will be looking at. Obviously, we talked about Meta. Let's definitely watch Meta tomorrow above. Let's keep an eye on Meta tomorrow above the December highs. That obviously looks good. A couple of names. You guys remember talking about the 50-day reclaim, right? Look what happened to ARM today, right? We talked about this over the weekend, right? 50-day reclaim went up another 6, was up another 10 at some point today. But look, let me give you guys a couple of symbols to watch for a potential 50-day reclaim. Look at TTD. Right? Look at TTD. You see how TTD got rejected today? It got rejected at the 20-day supply, but it's above the 50. If it could get back above the 20-day supply tomorrow, this thing could wake up. We did see some 130 calls come in. Here's a smaller name for you guys as well, ADMA. You see how ADMA stopped right at the 50-day moving average? If it could confirm tomorrow, today's channel, this thing could wake up as well. Look at Snow. Again, I don't know if Snow is going to be imminent tomorrow, but I like how Snow hit the 10, right? Reclaimed it, hit the 20, reclaimed it, hit this, whatever the hell this is, right? What is this? What is this? That's a 20-day SMA. I'm watching this thing in the next couple of days. Again, I don't know if it's going to be imminent, but I'm watching this thing in the next couple of days. If it can reclaim back the 20-day moving average. If it could reclaim back the 20-day moving average, folks, look how much room you have, right? Look how much room you have to the next supply. So I'm definitely watching. So that's it. First 3 days of the year have been outrageous. That's the best way I can say it. It's been outrageous, super tradable. The common denominator is I'm always prepared on both sides of the market. I don't want to anticipate anything. I don't want to guess. I don't want to try to be smart because I'm not smart. The only thing that matters is price action. Guys, God bless everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. And with God's help, I'll see you on the field tomorrow. Take care.